Chicago Sky fans, y'all need to be very, very careful in this moment. You need to be very, very careful. It looks like Angel Reese wants out, y'all. Angel Reese seems to be looking for a way out of the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Sky. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't blame her.
There is complete chaos inside the Chicago Sky organization. Additionally, Tyler Marsh, the rookie head coach who is expected to bring a winning philosophy from Las Vegas, has finally had enough.
And a lot of people are, calling out Angel Reese right now. And I think we are in a world where when it comes to Angel Reese, everything is under a microscope. And I think there are a lot of people that want to look at everything as a negative when it comes to her. Just like at the same time, it's the same thing with all these players. Like everything stars do is going to be under a microscope. So for me anyway, this isn't the most serious thing in the world. But a lot of people were pointing out that Angel Reese did not show up to game break.
With his team having one of the worst records in franchise history, 823, and there are growing rumors that his franchise player, Angel Reese, has essentially given up on the season, Marsh delivered a damning critique of not only his team's performance, but the entire culture that has completely destroyed this once proud organization.
On Angel Reese that I'm sure will trigger a bunch of people.
Let's hear your take.
But I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit.
Man, as much as I want to disagree with Jason, man, but I gotta admit, I think you're right. And I want to disagree with him so bad.
Tyler Marsh entered what he believed to be a promising reconstruction project. Just finished assisting the Las Vegas Aces in winning consecutive titles in 2022 and 2023. The 36-year-old coach agreed to a multi-year contract because he thought he could develop something unique in Chicago with young players like Camila Cardoso and Angel Reese. Instead, he received a horrible roster construction process, a locker room culture poisoned by the previous administration, and a franchise player who doesn't seem to be able to handle hardship.
What's up with Angel Reese, man? There's a pattern with this whole injury thing. Okay, first of all, she has a back injury and she's been gone for quite some time. But the report says is day to day. It's been more than a week. Okay, day to day is literally day to day. So, okay, sometimes it feels good, sometimes it's a little worse. Okay, let's just monitor it. But it should be good enough to play at any moment. That's what day to day is.
The pivotal moment occurred during Marsh's press conference after yet another humiliating defeat. This time, the Seattle Storm was thrashed by 38 points. Marsh finally became candid when questioned about his team's lack of discipline and effort, especially in light of growing rumors regarding Reese's mysterious back injury and her absence from team activities. This candor pierces organizational politics like a knife through butter.
Three of our starters are out, and so yes, it's got something to do with that. But like I spoke last game, it's your will and ability to compete. It's something that you always have the ability to do, no matter who's on the roster, no matter who's suiting up. I think that we showed that today. I was very proud, very, very proud of our effort today. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We had 8 players going into it. One we just signed 7 days ago. So it's tough to get everyone up to speed at the same time. But we came into today with the message of commit and compete. That's been our motto all year.
We must improve. With the frustration of a man witnessing his career collapse in real time, Marsh stated, I mean, we have to be more locked in, more focused, and execute the game plan much, much better. We need a will to succeed, and we don't consistently possess that at the moment.
18 to 20 turnovers and giving up 25 points off these turnovers.
Yeah, it's never an excuse. The proof is in the details of what's been the difference in our wins and losses, and a lot of it turns into the ability to take care of the ball. And so it's never an excuse. Teams bring pressure. You got to handle the pressure. And so, but our locker room is full of professional basketball players. They understand the importance of it. It's just a matter of doing it.
Subscribe if you're enjoying it. Angel Reese is undoubtedly the most important person in the room. Since July 29th, the player who is meant to be the foundation of this franchise has been noticeably missing. Formerly reported with a back injury that appears to have a suspiciously convenient timing, No apparent cause, and no defined timeline. Reese's absence from games isn't the only thing. She has completely stopped participating in team events and has opted not to accompany the squad to important games, such as their most recent encounter with the Indiana Fever. Marsh's remarks regarding Reese's predicament show that the coach is obviously annoyed by the absence of accountability. She desires to be outside. She is a rival. She is a combative individual. Marsh declared, "She's a winner," using what can only be described as the tactful wording used by coaches who are bound by contract to refrain from openly criticizing their franchise player. "We want her to be as healthy as possible when she is ready to return, even if it is difficult for her to not be there for her teammates."
But if we're going to be honest, we've seen everybody else that's injured. We've seen their injury. And we have also had updates and heard stuff about their injury. We've seen Caitlyn injury. We've seen Nafisa injury. We've seen Brianna Stewart injury. We've seen Ryan Howard injury. We've seen Jordan Canada injury. We've seen Kate Martin last night get it. We've seen a lot of these injuries. We've seen Eric McDonald. We've seen Sydney Colson. We've seen and we've gotten updates. We didn't see Angel injury. We haven't heard no updates or anything.
In other words, Angel reappears to be too ill to help her teammates through the most trying part of their season, yet she is well enough to post on social media and appear in public. This is the same player who, as her team was losing games, tweeted cryptic messages on social media at the apropos time. The same athlete that allegedly participated in the altercation in the room that resulted in Kennedy Carter's dismissal. The strongest indication of Reese's lack of dedication. Rhea has been conspicuously absent from the bench during games, opting to concentrate solely on her rehabilitation while her teammates fight through an 8-game losing streak that has eliminated any chance of playoff contention. This is from a player who came up and played 32 minutes in her final game, on July 29th versus Washington, indicating that her back condition isn't bad enough to keep her from participating when she wants to.
Making her money in stat padding, but she can't handle losing. I should have known. It's the same pattern with her. Last year she had a wrist problem. This year she got a back problem. Next year what it's gonna be? Lord knows what it's gonna be. But all her 5 million followers that badly voted for her to be on the WNBA All-Star team, please don't try to convince us that quitting is the way to go, because it is not. Quitting is unacceptable. She quit on Unrivaled because her team was losing. She quit on Maryland. You hear me? And I'm pretty sure she would have quit on LSU if they wasn't stacked.
The connection between this whole scenario and the Kennedy Carter scandal that transpired during the offseason may be its most significant feature. Carter, who scored 17.5 points a game in 2024, led the Sky in scoring, was abruptly fired following rumors of behavioral problems and locker room conflict. Carter's mysterious social media tweet about frequently making layups following her release is intriguing. An overt jab at Reese, who had one of the worst layup percentages in the WNBA previous season, with a shooting rate of just 42.4%. Carter's exit was meant to purge the locker room culture, but it's becoming more and more obvious that she wasn't the issue. The symptom was her. The true problem was a franchise player who reportedly felt intimidated by a teammate's accomplishments and contributed to the removal of the team's most effective attacking weapon. Now that Carter isn't scoring and Reese isn't playing, the Sky have dropped 10 of their previous 11 games and are scoring less than 70 points per contest on average. It's a delightful irony. The alleged locker room cancer, Carter, is currently enjoying success in free agency and making fun of the team that rejected her. In the meantime, Reese, the member the squad decided to focus on, has practically deserted her team just when they needed her most.
Injuries is the problem in Chicago Sky. And I've been telling you this since last year. You're not going to win a championship the way that they're playing right now. I don't care if they have Nafisa on the team, Brianna Stewart, or even Angel on the team. If you play your offense through Angel Reese, you're never going to win a championship. Never. Never. Her way of playing already proved that the Chicago Sky will never win that way. They changed coaches. They changed players. They even traded draft picks. 2 years in, there's no improvement. Actually, they got worse.
The fact that he is being set up to fail by circumstances that are entirely beyond his control is what makes Martha's predicament so upsetting. Under the direction of General Manager Jeff Pagliacca, the roster construction is a complete failure. They traded away veteran leadership, lost Courtney Vanderloot to a season-ending ACL injury early in the season, and surrounded their youthful nucleus with elderly veterans incapable of making a championship-level contribution. Because the offensive approach doesn't produce good looks, Marsh took over a club with awful spacing, a deadly problem in the current WNBA, and guards shooting career-low percentages from three-point range. The defense, which was meant to be supported by Cardoso's rim protection and Reese's rebounds, has been the poorest in the league, giving opponents a 46.9% field goal percentage and 89.5 points per game. In what may have been the most candid analysis of his team's issues, Marsh stated, "It's not about losing, it's the way we're losing. We also have more knowledge. We are aware that we cannot assist the strong side corner. We are aware that we cannot shoot shooters." That was essentially what I was trying to say. Just making sure we're following the correct procedures and practicing discipline, because that's the only way we can improve. The issue is that your greatest players must support discipline. Additionally, it becomes tough to have that buy-in when your franchise player is sitting at home and using social media to send cryptic messages rather than encouraging her teammates.
We have to be real. The management has been terrible. Jeff P, horrible. Tyler Marsh has been bad, but like I said, he doesn't have much talent on the team, so we don't know if he can actually coach or not. Now, why is people saying, is Angel Reese trying to force her way out of Chicago? Is she done with this organization already in just her second year? And it is a great question. I don't know if man, I think you got to move somebody. Cardoso, you have to get an influx of talent.
The general manager who planned this catastrophe, Jeff Pagliacca, has been remarkably silent while his grand scheme comes apart. This is the same CEO that made moves in response to his public declaration that he had high expectations for the season. These actions included allowing Kennedy Carter to depart, ignoring the team's spacing problems, and assembling a squad devoid of both young players who could make an immediate impact and seasoned leadership. The strongest criticism of Pagliacca's roster design. To help a squad that is presently 5 games behind the poorest team in playoff contention, the Sky are paying players like Kia Nurse, Rachel Bannum, and Rebecca Allen a lot of money. According to one analyst, these players are 1 or 2 years out of this league. However, they're depriving younger players of valuable playing time that may help the organization grow and succeed in the future. The Sky, meanwhile, do not even possess their own 2026 first-round selection. The Minnesota Lynx owns it. Thus, a high draft pick that could help turn things around won't even come from this historically poor season. It is the worst kind of organizational malpractice.
We got the Chicago Sky general manager, Jeff P, throwing Angel Reese under the bus? Jeff P said he's had enough of missed layups. Oh my God, Jeff P. Jeff P, when you start acting like this?
There is more going on in Chicago than just injuries and poor roster management. It concerns a basic culture issue that originates at the top and spreads to all organizational levels. You get exactly what the Sky has become, a laughingstock, when your franchise player can decide she no longer wants to play and not be held accountable, when veterans are permitted to contaminate the locker room, and when the front office bases decisions more on politics than basketball skill. Marsh's assertion that winning requires more than simply basketball prowess is true. They deal with the mentality that distinguishes championship organizations from others. That is the mindset of the Las Vegas Aces, where Marsh first gained experience. Players arrive injured. They help teammates get through difficult times. They hold one another responsible for their errors. It seems that when things get difficult in Chicago, they publish mysterious statements on social media and then vanish. Angel Reese's celebration on the sidelines after Kennedy Carter knocked down Caitlin Clark may have been the most significant event in recent Sky history. Not only was it unsportsmanlike, It exposed a player who cared more about the shortcomings of others than the accomplishments of her own squad. This mindset is now evident in Reese's seeming choice to shield her personal records and reputation rather than persevere through hardship alongside her comrades.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her hand.
Tyler Marsh is engaged in an unwinnable conflict. When his franchise player is available, he tries to coach basketball as she plays games. His organization lacks the kind of leadership required to hold elite players accountable for their dedication, and the person who created his roster evidently doesn't comprehend modern basketball. It's not shocking that there are reports that Reese wants to leave Chicago. They are unavoidable. The simple answer is to point the finger at everyone else and demand a change of scenery when your squad has a history of poor performance yet your brand has been established around winning. Other organizations aren't dumb, which is the issue. They are aware of what transpired with Carter. They can observe how Reese has dealt with hardship and the kinds of cultural issues that follow particular players around. Marsh's annoyance is evident since he is aware that he is being evaluated based on outcomes beyond his control.
So basically, she made it clear she wanted out, like, that she either asked for a trade or demanded a trade. However, if you guys didn't see it, the end of it was like, obviously it was something like that. Angel Reese, heavy on the PS. Like, it does make it sound like, I mean this makes it sound like she is asking for a trade. Or she's at least implying she wants to be traded. Because at the end of the day, you just never know. You just never know what's in players' minds. But
however, leadership necessitates sacrifice, and discipline demands leadership. The Chicago Sky, a team that went from being a championship contender to a league laughingstock in the course of one terrible season, is what happens when your best player refuses to put the needs of the team before her comfort, when your front office refuses to put politics ahead of basketball decisions, and when your organization refuses to put short-term brand considerations ahead of long-term winning culture. The unfortunate thing is that Tyler Marsh might be an excellent coach after all. He appears to understand player development and winning basketball based on his aces resume. However, front offices that oppose their ideas and players who don't want to be coached are obstacles that even the finest coaches cannot overcome. Marsh is harshly learning in Chicago that skill is useless without dedication. Additionally, when skill fails, culture always triumphs. With a 0.1% chance of qualifying for the playoffs and their franchise players seemingly checking out, the Sky season is essentially finished. The only thing left to wonder is how much more harm will be done to the organization's integrity and to Martha's reputation before this nightmare is over. From what we've observed thus far, there is a lot of